enjoy
pizza.
all forms of pizza. That includes when they put fruit on pizza.
Okay.
I
agree with you on
I have
this. I
just
think
ruined
pineapple
my fan bit. You realize there's plenty of people who be like, I used to support you, but now I know that you put tropical fruit on a delicious salty pizza.
There's nothing. Sweet and salty is one of the best things ever. I am not gonna lie. It's even like a Chex Mix thing of sweet and salty in particular. But you know what? It's not sweet or not salty here. It's gonna be Oasis as our second map here in this not best of four. It's a 4-map series. We are gonna see the Pharah and the Mercy for Arc 6 already.
Pharah Mercy is gonna be coming out, and it's gonna be on University, a stage that historically has been kind of rough for Pharah Mercy combos. But Arc 6 is one of the few teams in the game that says we're gonna let it ride, and they have had success with a Pharah Mercy combo here on this point. So we'll see if it works out here. But the problem is that it's really easy for a diva to get in your Pharah's face on this particular stage. She doesn't even have to jet boost up half the time.
Yeah, and also mitigate a lot of this damage. Bounty going to be sitting on the Sombra, looking for those hacks. I wonder if he's going to hack the one under the point, since he does have a Winston and does have a Diva to play with. Actually pick that one up. Gillfrost immediately going to be dropped in, like right off the bat. The first kill of the game, actually, and it shows really where the focus of FNRGFE is going to be.
Matt, with the aid of Clockwork, is on Mercy hunting season right now, but that's really rough. Not only is he out of the fight early, which hurts your healing and makes it likely you just lose because you don't have the sustain, it also means he doesn't get to charge up his resurrection here, Jason, that he's very good at timing and staying alive to use. But FNRGFE, if nothing else here, they have certainly studied how Arc 6 plays, and it appears they came in with a rather formidable game plan.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought? Kill the Mercy, you win the game. I never thought that would have been like the hardest or most complicated strategy for any team to figure out. But most importantly, I think they figured out where he likes to play and how he likes to play. But speaking of ultimates, speaking of res, Ginger Pop does have 85%. So we'll be getting that up momentarily. Imp going to be coming in for the backside out of Bonnie. It looks like he's not going to catch Ginger with this, though, it seems. And they do stop before they even get the engagement they wanted to. But Buds is actually already dropped because Dante was able to get that post bomb in.
Unfortunately, too, for FNRGFE, they're not able to really capitalize on that EMP too much. They did make the Diva, so it's better than nothing, but Arc 6 starting out on a very good note here. Ginger Pop was under pressure, still under pressure, and not able to shake it in the end. He was close there, Jason, but Bonnie coming back in, finds him at the end, and FNRGFE is not going to be giving up this point. They fight this one right back, and this has been frustrating to say the least for Arc 6 so far.
Space is like, thanks XQC, thanks for knocking him into me with his tack visor when I could have run away. But he gets a kill nonetheless anyway, so not too big of a deal. Bonnie gonna get the hack on the teleporter down below. He doesn't have his translocator just yet, so he's not gonna be able to contest the point, but likely for him, he doesn't need to, because the rest of FNRGFE haven't been able to hold it.
Well, not only are they back, but his hacking is making things really tough for Dante, where a Tracer, you do rely on health packs, and when they're never up because they're hacked, it makes Dante a lot more reliant on getting the Dahoon for healing, as opposed to anything else. So it's putting Dahoon under more stress, and now with 5 ultimates, it's really do or die for Arc 6. They must come in and make this fight successful, but Ginger Pop assassinated immediately.
Just seems like rinse and repeat here for FNRGFE. Like, just kill the Mercy, win the fight every single time, and Ginger Pop has just been constantly being picked off in the beginning or in the very early stages of these team fights. And they're going to hold it yet again here. Ginger Pop does have res, but he's still very far back in spawn, 92%. How often do we see a full 100 of 0 on Oasis? I'm not going to answer that. Not very often, but at this rate, it might happen.
It very well might happen. Arc 6, they had a big ult advantage. They weren't able to capitalize, and now they just have to barrier, roll onto the point with Reckless Abandon. They do get one early trade out, and now the question is, can Ginger Pop even stay alive long enough to get the resurrection off, now that it has been Mercy hunting season 2017? Both teams trading out here, and I think for Ginger Pop, he's under pressure. He has to res soon. And no, he gets away, gets healed up, out the health pack, and is still very much alive. But now he can get a 3-man res here, Jason.
Or maybe even 4 if he does time it correctly. Actually, the Tracer was able to stay alive. Ginger Pop is still being attacked, still being forced off the point.
No.
He's nowhere near for a res, and didn't get a single one this entire first map. And that's going to be our first 100 to 0 that we've seen in quite a long time.
What this is reminding me of here is that if you look at the old games with LG Loyal back when Hedan was on that roster, in events like the Overwatch Carbon series, the Melees, and everything else, what would happen is that Hedan, even though he's a very, very good support, he would have games where he would look bad, and the reason is that teams recognized how good he was, and they just put out a hit squad on him, where they said, look, we're gonna overcommit and kill your support. We don't think you guys can punish us for it, and so far, that's been the game plan that FNRGFE has been running, where Ginger Pop, he has to feel more oppressed than he ever has at any point in his Overwatch career right now.
Well, look at this. We asked if FNRGFE will be able to play Pharah Mercy, and it looks like they're going to pull it out here. Buds up against Za. This is still going to be very difficult. I feel like Buds has an opportunity to show us how versatile he can be as a player. he's able to pick up these 2v2s.
I mean, Buds has a reasonable Pharah. I definitely would not call it bad by any stretch of imagination. I'm not sure if it's exactly dominant, but he is going against one of the best Pharahs in the game in Za, so this will be a test as to who just sniped long-range rockets, sending him back to the spawn, but the ground war going much more in favor of ARC-6 here. Dante and Za doing work, and Za didn't even see fit to fight Buds here for a while, Jason.
Well, Buds won't let the kill go the way of ZZA. Just gonna kill himself, so it keeps the things at 0 apiece between them. But he did get a nice early pick. I'm not sure exactly what happened between both of them there. Either way, that's gonna be an initial take here for ARC-6. Probably expected him to take this too. I don't know, I mean, Buds might not be a bad Pharah, but he hasn't warmed up at all on it in this series, where ZZA's been on the entire time.
And you mentioned warming up, but that's actually a very good point, especially on something like Pharah, where you do want to get into a groove with projectile DPS. Pharah's, in terms of rockets, you do want to get into a rhythm. But the next fight is underway here. FNRGFE getting right back onto it, and both teams just looking for that all-important first kill. Buds in the air, looking for the other Pharah, but it's going to be Matt. Dives back, stops XQC from doing what he wants to do, and at the 6v5, they're getting plenty of work done, and it actually forces out the one-man res from Gingerpop, so they want to keep XQC alive, but it might be too little too late.
It's not going to matter too much, and not to mention Body still has res too, so any kills ARC-6 were able to pull back are going to be completely mitigated. XQC is going to save his ultimate, good timing out of FNRGFE to just close out those follow-up kills after the res had come through, and with 4 ultimates to use, and the res most importantly, it's going to allow Boink to get that Soundbreak up a little bit quicker. He's only at 80% currently. This chip damage coming through. I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree with it, because you know Gingerpop is going to get a lot of extra, well, he would have gotten a lot of extra healing off of it, but that self-destruct coming through is not going to connect.
No, it doesn't connect at all. Matt gonna have to get right back to his mat. Another self-destruct is out from space, and Muma knocked off the ledge. XQC being the alpha Winston in that fight as Buds drops the barrage, but is mitigated by space. And yet, it's even as Gingerpop goes down. Matt hunted Gingerpop down again, Jason.
It's been really hard to deal with. I think Matt hasn't actually been dealt with at all for this entire series. And keep in mind, movement to get knocked off the maps when the res came through out of Bonnie. It did not pick him back up. He had to go back to spawn, collect his $200, and then rejoin his team a little bit later.
You know, that's one thing. It's always $200. It never really changes.
Yeah, where's the inflation?
It doesn't happen. It's just $200.
To be fair, though, I wouldn't mind getting $200.
I'd be fine for just getting that for just pass and go, especially every time I go to spawn point, because I die a lot, Jason.
Especially when you play Widow.
Oh, I'm very acquainted with the spawn run Widow. But we are getting back into this next fight. Dante on the ground, trying to pull us back here for ARC-6. Not really accounted for here, and yet the fight passing him by to some extent, as Matt is still being the anti-air pressure here. Able to take down Za early on this fight. No resurrection is on deck. And still somewhat even, but the problem is, how do you evict a team from this point here, Jason, when they can stall for ages?
Well, it starts with killing them all, and then you can eventually go off the point. No, you're right. Like there's so many different angles to play from. It's so hard to get on the high ground, and actually they're not going to be able to evict him at all here, because Clockwork and Muma, both pick up some kills here, at least get a decent amount of space. And not to mention the reinforcements of FNRGFE are going to be here. They have the res on a body, so if you do kill him, you have to do it twice.
Indeed, and now FNRGFE looking to reestablish here. It was looking very good for ARC-6 for a time, but the resurrection coming in.
Ginger's dead.
FNRGFE is back to full strength, and as you mentioned, Ginger is hunted down again by Clockwork and Matt, so I don't know. I feel like ARC-6 has never really had to play against a team that's hunted their mercy to this degree. They don't have a good answer, because thus far, Jason, we thought this matchup was going to be very close, but FNRGFE is running away with this one.
Yeah, honestly, I think Clockwork and Cool Matt just showing a clinic of how to deal with the Mercy in the air, with heroes who aren't even necessarily meant to deal with Pharah in the air. I mean, Adiv obviously can do quite a bit here, a Tracer as well, but the difference, the damage drop-off and the fall-off between those two heroes against her is going to be still very difficult, and yet they seem to keep doing it time and time again. In Gingerpop, maybe the time is to switch, maybe not stick to his Far Mercy, where on this one, City Center, it's a little bit different. It's obviously a lot more, well, it's more friendly to a Far Mercy on the high ground that you can use because of the ceiling of the map.
So Jason, I gotta ask you.
Yes.
You get picked up by ARC-6 as their coach, and they change their name to ARC-7 because 7 is just a luckier number. Do you tell them to switch off the Mercy at this point?
I'm not gonna tell them what to do. I'm not good enough to be their coach. Are you kidding me? I'd be asking them, why the hell did you pick me up as a coach? I'm some like silver scrub player here.
Stop being logical. They thought you were at least bronze.
They thought it was Jeff Kaplan, that's why. Oh. They should have did their research.
Well, in any case, we are getting
They got me onto the committee. It might as well get me as a coaching position.
Well, we are getting back into it. Za gets taken out of the air. He is not only poked down, but Muma jumps into the air and gets a little bit more. And FNRGFE starting this out with a bang in more ways than one. And Bud's on the Pharah doing some work here, Jason.
He's able to get a D-suit there. Help get the kill on the space and Clockwork again. Taking out Gingerpop. You know, before we come into this match, we were saying this is going to be a really close and long match, right?
Yeah.
It's not starting to look like that. It's looking like quite the opposite here. I don't know, FNRGFE came out of nowhere and are surprising Arc6, I think. Finally gets a 2-man res, which is a little bit of a page out of Gingerpop's book, if I'm not mistaken.
Gingerpop's just weeping because he can't remember the last time he was able to resurrect the way this game is going.
Yeah.
And good note, FNRGFE looked really strong on the qualifier day. It was just group stage day 1 that they weren't doing very good, but now they've made this roster change up and they've just controlled space in a way that they did not do before. And a lot of it does come off the diva play, but there's also really just good coordination coming out.
Do you mean controlling like area, or do you mean controlling space?
I mean, it's kind of both in this case.
I'm like, I don't know what you're referring to.
It's really both, but space in the general area and certainly space in this game.
Well, Gingerpop's half HP again already as the fight is still breaking out. It's still being held by FNRGFE. Clockwork is not being touched. Is this man invisible? No one is even turning their direction towards him. Dante's going to fall. Gingerpop's trying to rejoin to get a potential res here. And he will at least be able to get a little bit further. Maybe a 1-man res. He's going to get a 3-man res. Fine, he does make up for some past reses. That self-destruct might come through to be deadly.
It makes up for past resurrections in a sense, but the problem is that when Arc6 does well, they get resurrections that immediately win the fight. That was a resurrection just to stay in the fight, Jason, and it's not their MO. They prefer oppression resurrections rather than please save us, give us a last chance at this fight resurrections. And overall, they are failing to get FNRGFE off at this point. And wow, when you gotta kill a Winston, sometimes you unload all the rockets.
I feel like this point's been contested the entire time that FNRGFE has actually had it. We're up to 75% already. We might be looking at another 100-0 at this rate. You can see both Mercy beams just healing from long range. Make sure not to cross those. The Ghostbusters might be upset at you. And Bud's still on that far. I haven't really seen him on the kill feed too much lately, but XQC is going to definitely be there.
XQC is trying anything to bring this back, but it's been a good round for him so far in terms of just fights and bringing this back. The problem is that FNRGFE, even though they've been losing these fights after capturing it, they were able to delay it out to 96%, which means all they need to do is get one complete fight to take the round. But it is the city center.
It is Oasis.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be 2 hours by the time that they actually take it, but still, one fight.
Knock on this desk, which I believe is the finest of woods.
I mean, maybe it's just artificial wood.
Do you think Left Guy would ever let this be artificial wood?
I mean, I'm not sure
if
Left
mahogany.
Guy, Right Guy might. Right Guy's devious.
I don't think I've ever seen him before.
No. I'm glad he has not invaded this broadcast, Jason.
All right,
that
well,
would be tough.
Yeah, now 30% here for Arc6. Pulse Bomb going to miss it at Dante. Bud's coming back with a little bit of speed. Does try to distance himself from that self-destruct, which he'll do definitely. I mean, he's finally maybe see the 2v2 in the air. That direct rocket does connect. Gingerpop is on 1 health. And Muma comes through with the power range, just smack him back to the ground.
The anti-air options coming out here. Bump to the mid-air rocket. Muma just jumping for joy. Who needs... Well, I guess he has a jetpack. It is some degree of technology. It's not just brute strength and jumping, but it is enough. The resurrection comes in, and FNRGFE holding on to the point. They just need a little bit more. The meter is going up, and now the question is, Jason, for Arc6, how good are they at delaying? And the answer is, not as good.
Kumak body blocked him so he couldn't get the 2nd-man res. Not that it would have mattered much in the end, because even a 2-man res would have been enough against a 6-man squad out of FNRGFE. But Za is trying to do his best here, trying to play from any angle he can, trying to get any single shot onto them.
Gingerpop's going to be seeing Matt in his nightmares tonight. This has been brutal with the ways that he's been getting zoned out and killed over the course of this fight. And FNRGFE, all they need to do is clean up Arc6 here decisively to end overtime and take the round and take the map, and it is looking very good for them. Dante sacrifices his body, or Dahoon rather, not going to be enough.
Nice, turn around, there you go. That's what they spotted Ginger, now he's above the point, and he doesn't touch it. You know, but you said something. Za gonna be seeing Kuma in his nightmares. If Kuma is in my dreams, it's definitely not a nightmare. I'll tell you that. It's probably gonna end up as a nightmare to clean up the next day, but either way, 2-0 now for FNRGFE. This is looking good.
It's looking very good for FNRGFE. I mean, again, when we set the stage in the pregame analysis, talking about what to expect here, we thought this would be close. We thought that this would be very much on the edge, but FNRGFE has come out with an intensity that I don't think we really could have expected coming in here. Certainly not off of how they played just a week ago.
Yeah, and just to clarify things for everyone, well, first of all, somehow it just feels better. I don't know, did you guys notice? Does it feel different?
I just felt there was a dark pale over the broadcast for a while,
It's
but
hard to
past
tell.
now. I don't know, creepy spirits.
We've moved along.
Feels more
but
awkward now. I don't know why.
See, differences of
It's two-
opinion
it's
here,
two
I guess.
different
But no,
guys.
Arc 6, they could still actually secure their second place spot by tying things up here with the next two maps. A draw would be in their favor. FNRG, though, they've set themselves up. They all they have to do is win one of the next two maps, and they've secured their spot in second. And, I mean, you guys already pretty much broke down almost every aspect. Everyone's firing off. Everyone is contributing in the ways they need to. And one of the keys with that is they've been doing really good at switching focus when they need to and turning that into kills. Because you got to think, I mean, you got a Pharah in the air. It's going to take more than one person to actually focus them down and kill them. And you can see even some of the calling in instances where he's brought down low and moves to a different part of the map, and immediately another member completes that kill.
Here's where I think the difference is right now, is that generally speaking, when teams try to kill the Mercy, they tunnel on the Mercy. They go too hard on the Mercy, Ginger Pop jukes them, and the rest of the team gets their kills. What's going on here is a little bit more nuanced.